This is, the musk, when you first become Muslim, you go to the mosque and they have these things in cubes. It's not even a liquid, it's like these paste. They give you this is musk, then it's like this disgusting thing that you can kill people.
I've seen that.
That's the kind of musk that is used in these perfumes. So the kind of musk that it takes to make a real musk perfume is like, you need to use this. All right, these are actual, this is the actual sac of the deer.
All right.
Okay. And we're going to smell, I'll let you smell it in a minute.
Okay, that's pure musk.
This is pure deer musk.
Okay.
From Siberia.
Okay.
Okay, this is, and it's not musk, the red dots are musk, right?
Yeah.
This is musk. The musk skin, the pouch that houses the actual grains.
Okay. They have to keep those pouches in there in order for it to maintain its strength, or why are those?
They have a different profile.
Okay.
So like what we have here, this is the actual musk.
Oh, I see. Okay.
This is a musk tincture, pure musk grains.
Okay.
Musk grains have a different smell to musk skin and hairs and the sap.
I see.
So there's two facets of a musky perfume. There's this raunchy, animalistic thing, which is very, very gamey, very bloody, urinary kind of thing.
Okay.
It's the sac tincture.
All right.
Then you get the musk, which is the grains of the musk from the musk deer. And
that's in the sac.
That's housed in the sac, right? Which he releases in order to, to spread the DNA, and then I also made a vintage Mysore sandalwood maceration of musk. This is probably what you smelled before. If you smelled musk, it must have been something like this.
Well, I know I did smell musk before. I mean, I did, obviously I didn't have all this background in musk. You're telling me now.
Right.
Okay. So I assume that no one sells pure musk as it is.
You mean the grains?
No, as an oil or as a perfume.
It doesn't come in oil form.
Well, as a perfume.
Yeah.
Do they sell it just pure musk?
You can get the musk tincture.
Yeah.
Like what I have here.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I put that in an atomizer, you can spray it, and you're only using. The only thing you're spraying scent-wise, the only thing you're getting is pure musk. Okay. Even though it's based in alcohol.
But is musk usually used for as a scent in itself, or it's usually used with other? What's the normal usage of this?
The classic usage of musk is as a fixative.
Okay.
As an enhancer of other notes that you put with it, right?
I see. Okay.
It's something that fixates. It makes things last longer.
Okay.
It transmutes. It's almost like alchemy. It's like you put musk into all these other notes, and all of a sudden they have this airiness, this brightness, this velvetiness.
Okay.
Which is like breathing life through otherwise one-dimensional, like crude notes, making them into this fabulous, beautiful elixir, kind of like a.
Okay, but is it sold, or is it presented as musk, or is it presented as something else? That's the thing. You have to put a name to it, and then they say the ingredients are 1, 2, 3.
For one, it's banned. It's like illegal. Using musk is again. Unless it's like legally hunted in Russia and you have a government permit, and you hunt within the quota for every season. I think they can only hunt a maximum of like 15,000 deer.
Okay.
In Siberia.
All right.
Right. Other than that, everything is white musk. Right. What do we mean by white musk? White musk is just synthetic musk.
Oh, I see. That's synthetic.
Of course.
Oh.
Yeah, white musk.
Not a combination of something, with musk or something like that.
White musk itself?
Yeah.
White musk just means, what it comes from is that if I give you this, right?
Yeah.
This is actually bloody and red and gooey, and you know what I mean? It's dirty. This is musk. If I show you a bottle of white musk, it's like you're looking at a bottle of coconut oil. It's just.
But didn't you make I remember years back you made a special. I thought it was musk for one of the shakes,
That one, the sheikh, he made it himself.
Oh, he made it himself.
He made it himself, and actually he gave that to me.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, he gave that to me.
I got the story mixed up.
Yeah. No, he gave that to me. He gave me everything he had.
Okay.
He said, after this, I don't want you to ever acquire any more musk.
Okay.
I'm calling all of the perfumers that are associated with me.
Okay.
And I am banning them from using musk.
Okay.
I'm putting a ban on deer musk. I said, why? He said, it's just doing destruction on the earth. He said, you're like killing off this animal to extinction, and we're not going to have any more musk after this at all. When I found out that the Russian government actually has a quota and that there's a legal context in which this can be acquired, I went back to him. I said, well, see, I just found out that we can legally acquire this in Russia, and they have hunters that are licensed. And so he said, so long as you make sure that it's authentic.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, because he said if you get some of these fake musks, he said they're carcinogenic.
Yeah.
And I went and I looked into that. I looked into Musco and I looked into Masino and all of these things. These are actually not carcinogenic, the ones that Sheikh Nu mentioned.
Okay.
What is carcinogenic and toxic and neurotoxic is the original nitro musks. It's a family of musks that was developed by French perfumers once the deer musk became banned in Europe. It's a lot more stable. It does the same thing a lot more potently than deer musk, and it's a lot more. The projection is like ballistic. It's crazy. I mean, what it does.
Okay.
However, it's a neurotoxin, and these are the nitro musks, like musk ketone, musk xylene, all of these things. There is a second generation of musk ingredients.
Okay.
These are the polycyclic musks. Then now we have the macrocyclic musks, and these are things that are being used today, like Pulverlead and what else is there, like Vilvion and these kind of things.
Okay, so what makes the Siberian musk? Why is that so, so coveted? Why do people say it's the best? Why? What's the difference between those deer and deer in New Jersey, for example?
Well, that's a totally different animal. I mean,
well, I'm saying, as a layman.
As a layman, you want to.
I want to know, and I want to tell people if they ask me.
Right.
I can say, well, this is the reason why.
Actually, that's a very good question, because it's really hilarious. Just recently, I was asked by customers. They said that you said something very wrong in your what you said about musk. It was all wrong because there's this other perfumer somewhere on the internet, and he's been perfuming the royal princes and kings for 300-400 years, and he contradicted exactly what you said. He said that I said that musks can smell like urine. He says that that's a hallmark of fake musk. So he said, so how come you're selling fake musk? I said, so I went and I checked out what he said. I said, well, thank you for pointing this out to me. And he had the deer from New Jersey on the page of the website, where he explains that how to tell real musk and fake musk. The deer that he had, this like American deer, has absolutely no musk coming from this species of deer. It's a totally different animal.
I see.
The musk deer is it's like saying, the bat and the moose. There's no connection. I mean, the musk deer is Muscus musciferus, the Latin name. It only roams the Himalayas, Kashmir, Siberia, and Tibet, areas of Tibet.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Traditionally, what they call Tonkin musk comes from a place called Tonquin in Vietnam. And that is the most coveted and the highest quality musk ever. Tonkin musk is extinct. I don't think anybody has Tonkin musk unless you go to like a museum, or you find someone from like 300-400 years ago who has Tonkin musk. That's the most coveted musk. Musk that is 300-400 years old would not benefit us anyway, because it would be too dry to make a vibrant and a very robust tincture out of.
I see.
So the Siberian musk is the next best thing, apart from like Nepalese, Tibetan, and these things. These are illegal. These are illegal. And I mean, I haven't found a way to. I know the Chinese government has farms and they have a way of cultivating. I highly doubt that the cultivated Chinese variety would compare to wild Siberian musk. You know, if you go to Nepal and these kind of things, those animals are, you know, critically endangered, and I wouldn't necessarily consider that as an option.
Yeah, of course.
Unless I found a legal framework in which I know that I am not contravening what the sheikh told me to do.
Yeah, also it's the fact of enjoying nature is having it sustained. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if we enjoy that, so we want it, so it should be.
That is another beautiful point that you made. Thank you very much for bringing that up. A lot of people, they say, well, you're a criminal. Because even if it is legally, you know, granted by the Russian government, even if it is that you're still hunting this animal, why don't you use white musk? Now there's a big problem here in that, talking about sustaining nature, white musk is actually destructive in itself. If you read, you know, like if you get like a can of beans and you read the fine print, it says, you know, recycle, do this, don't do this, dispose in this way. If you get a can of white musk, you see a sign of dead fish. Like one of the signs, if you see a sign of, like, some things, they have signs of a carcinogen. You see a human body with like stars, you know, like in the middle. It shows that this thing is toxic.
No,
it's a poison. No. The sign of the symbol of dead fish that's on the tin. Well, that means if you read the fine print of what that indicates, it means that this is highly toxic to aquatic life with long-lasting effect.
Oh, I see.
It kills off scores of schools of fish. Whales, all marine life is endangered by this. Yeah. And I'm talking about tons upon tons of this stuff that is dumped into the ocean by these factories that are making it. Yeah. It's extremely...
Well, unfortunately, as you're probably aware, this is kind of like the way Western society is going, at least.
This is how it is.
And so their whole thing is, let's please the masses.
Yeah.
Right. We'll worry about the problems later.
Yeah.
Right. And this is not, this is not why we're, people who really want to enjoy fine art, nature as it is, they don't want to destroy nature. No.
No.
They want to have nature be nature, and us enjoy nature. Like people did in previous generations.
I follow religiously on Instagram all of these scientists and these marine scientists who go to like the fjords of Norway and they dive and they want to make people aware of the endangerment of these orcas that are there.
Yeah.
It says if they start drilling for oil and dumping things into this, it's going to kill off all of these families of fish.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I don't know if you've seen recently the thing about plastic bags. They're actually bringing fish out of the ocean, and they cut them open. They find plastic bags inside.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is also where we have to, people who want to enjoy nature, they have to protect nature. This is
we have to be aware.
Yeah. And there's also something to be said for the original. The copy is never like the original, right?
Yeah.
So no matter how you synthesize it, right? Or whatever you do to it, no matter what product it is, but especially, obviously, perfumes or oils, right? You're not going to enjoy the real thing, So people who want the short term, I guess maybe, think it's good to have the short term, the smell. Okay, I'm going to a party, and that's that,
Right.
Maybe those are the people, but those aren't the people that really are going to enjoy and benefit from the sense, as I see it, as a layman.
I'll give you a swipe of these different types of musk.
Okay.
This is like diving straight into Siberian deer musk.
Wow. This is it's a big adventure for me. I've never done this before, so.
So this is in 1980s, early 1980s, Mysore sandalwood. Okay, this is a traditional musk maceration. If you were to make a tincture, you would make it in sandal because it's an excellent carrier.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful aroma that blends with the musk very nicely.
Okay.
So that is the Mysore and the Siberian musk. What you smell?
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
It's very heavenly. Yes.
That is deer musk and sandalwood.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice.
What I mean, you're familiar with sandalwood, right?
Oh yes,
yeah,
right. Yeah.
You can you tell the
Oh yeah. Yes, I can tell.
the muskiness?
Yes, yeah. No, it's very nice. It's very nice.
Now to give you the isolated musk without any sandalwood. This is just straight up musk with just plain ethanol.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you smell like what I smell? It's
Yeah.
like standing on a urinal.
Yeah. 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 Only not as strong.
Yeah, not
But,
as strong. Like
But yes. But
I was in England. I was touring the UK, doing my yearly Oud Fest. This time we had the 4th yearly Oud Fest by Ansar Oud.
Okay.
It's like a yearly event that we do. We meet our friends. And I stopped on the way. I was driving through pastures which are full of dung and like cow, farms and barnyard and so forth, and thinking of the Indian Oud.
yeah.
When I stepped inside the urinal in this inn, I was like, but that's just like musk. I mean, but it's this human
Yeah.
type, it's like this
Yeah. I got it.
very,
Yeah. Yeah, actually, it reminds me of like walking out into the woods and seeing where animals go on trees and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there is a natural side to it, different than going to a urinal, right? And going to an outhouse.
course, yeah, of course.
Because it's concentrated, right?
Yeah.
And this is, yeah. Yeah, but yes, definitely.
I
I mean,
heard-
nothing compared to this,
Yeah,
obviously.
to the sample, of course. I mean,
Of course,
it's a beautiful cord.
Mm.
Traditionally, sandalwood and musk make for a gorgeous, heavenly fragrance.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, is this something you mix with it something, or you just sell like this?
Yeah, you can use it neat. I don't sell it because this is too precious to sell for myself. I mean, I just don't sell the use
But
that
you
it has.
use it for something? Or?
I use it in my perfumes.
Oh, I see.
I use it in my perfumes
Okay.
because, I mean, like a gourmet a dish is going to only be as good as the ingredients that you
Yeah.
put in.
Of course.
So when I use these kind of ingredients,
Yeah.
you can understand.
Because someone had given me, not given me, but swiped me a little bit of, they said was musk and the sandalwood. It smelled something like this.
Really?
Now, of course, I'm not a connoisseur,
Right.
so I mean, you would be the one that would know if it was fake or not fake or whatever.
Right.
But it smelled similar to this, and they swore that it had some kind of effect, that me being swiped by this, they could control, that what they wanted to have from me,
Right.
as long as I was, mussed up, I guess you could say. So, I mean, I don't know if there's any tales like that about what these musks can do.
I mean, there's a lot of fables and fictions and things surrounding musk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of folklore and things.
Yeah,
People in China, they use it as a medicine.
yeah,
In Russia, they eat it they drink their vodkas with it, and then they eat the raw deer. But you see, it smells like urine. I mean, it's like
oh yeah, yeah.
it's
No.
not something you would.
No, the sandalwood one though is nice. It's nice with the sandalwood, it's nice.
Now, if you smell the ethanol one,
Mm.
right, that's musk.
Mm.
Like, what is one word that, I mean, the closest, like, empirical reference that you can pull up just to make someone understand what it smells like, who's never smelled it before, like one of our viewers, for example?
Well, it would be urine.
Urine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Of course. I mean, pardon the crudeness of it, but that's what it would be.
It smells like urine.
Yeah.
I mean, let's try the sap tincture.
Okay. This is quite a journey down Musk Way, I guess.
Yeah.
Very nice.
You've never been so musked up before.
No, I've never been so mussed up and enjoying it, I must say, even with the urinal smell.
I mean, this is the smell of paradise.
Yeah.
I had my wife come over here to the atelier when I received the musk from Russia.
Mm.
And if you open a jar of musk sacks, it's like going to the zoo. It's like this overwhelmingly powerful, potent, smell.
Yeah.
And she was like, "That's insane. That's intense." I said, "Well, I guess you don't want to go to Jannah then." This is like
Yeah.
the body of the animal.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. What do you smell?
Yeah, it smells like the, when, yeah, does smell like the body of the animal. You're right.
Like urine,
Exactly.
hair.
Yeah. It smells like the body, the hair, of the animal.
In perfumery, they call this kind of ingredient animalis.
Okay.
Right, so animalis is like this super animalic, it's a synthetic.
Yeah.
But they use that instead of this because this is just too rare and too difficult to come by. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. It's just a question of information. We're not. I mean, personally, I'm not against anybody who uses synthetics. You know, in very great moderation. You know, because it's like you just can't. How do you make the smell of peaches, for example, or if you need it, you know, if you need to make the smell of a certain flower that doesn't exist. Some people just don't have access to those naturals.
Of course.
And I'm not here to like trash anyone, you know, because that it's just not the way. But educationally, for educational purposes, if you want to smell musk, it smells like this. If you want to smell it in perfume, I just want to see what your reaction is. I mean, this is the best that I could do when working with musk. This is EO number 1. This is EO number 2. This is a tester, of course. If you know that the full bottle looks like this. This is the work of
very handsome bottle.
Our Sidi Habib.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a spray of this and see what you make of that.
Okay. It's hard to say, but you know, just from a person, it's the first time I've seen this. It seems like more has the animalistic side to it. That's what I smell from that.
You get the animality.
Yeah, I get the animality from that. Yeah, more than I do from obviously the sandalwood thing. That's something totally different. But it seems to be it's coming through like that. Not strong, you know. But I do smell a scent of that. You know, I could be wrong, obviously. Because
there's been a huge debate. Once I released EO number 2, it's like people had very mixed reviews of it. So some people are saying, well, it doesn't smell like musk. Some people are saying it smells exactly like musk. Other people are saying it smells like a musk isolate. Like you isolated the musk and then there's just a total zoom in on the musk. Other people are saying it smells like a 1920s musk perfume that reminds them of like classics of French perfumery.
It doesn't put me off.
Right.
You know, it's not strong like that.
Perfume shouldn't put you off.
Yeah, well, I told you about that. I'm sorry, but I told you about that Indian Oud, you know. I mean, just as far as that goes, it just did put me off.
Right.
I mean, not as like, I'm sure there are people that like that. I'm talking about as a person using it myself.
Right.
Right. That's my opinion.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, not all kinds of perfumes are going, or ouds or whatever, are going to, not everyone's going to appreciate it. That's why there's such a variety, I would assume.
Right.
Everyone, and I think, I don't know, you might be able to, you know, to answer the question, does it have anything to do with a person's personality or their DNA, or as a person like a certain smell or a certain scent because of this? This goes well with his body, this one doesn't, maybe that's why.
Must be. I mean, like different foods, like some people, you know, they don't do dairy, for example, because they're very sensitive to dairy.
Yeah.
Other people, you know, if it's not like burning hot, you know, from the chilies, and you know, other people scream, you know, if they ate certain Indian dishes, for example.
Yeah.
It's just not their food.
But I have my own things that you know, perfumes and oils and stuff like that. It does have something to do with your chemistry, right?
Sure.
If it fits in with your chemistry or not. And some things seem to fit better in my chemistry than other things, and so maybe that's why. Maybe it's a little bit too strong to say that, you know, I just saying that for myself.
Right.
I'd prefer something like this, right, over something like that. That's so, you know, potent, should I say? Yeah. So.
There's many takes on musk.
Yeah.
There's many takes on musk, and I would say, I mean, my take is that every single musk perfume is the artist's, the perfumer's interpretation of what he believes musk should smell like.
I see.
Because if we wanted to just smell like musk, I mean, we would just give you this.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It would just smell like urine and like.
And you're saying as a perfume,
I mean, of course, perfume is you know, it's supposed to beautify, right? It's supposed to make you like present you in a positive light.
Yeah.
If we cover you in urine, excuse me for. I don't think many people would want to have that, like just spraying urine on their body. I mean, I found, like in Saudi recently, there was this the story in the news that a perfume company had been shut down because they discovered several hundred gallons of human urine in the warehouse. I mean, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. There is a very high end. This is only by hearsay. I haven't actually seen the website or the store or anything.
Okay.
I have heard that one of the most expensive niche perfume houses in the West, right? What they do is they sell you the bottle, and it's 90-something% full. They leave like 1 ml empty for you to put your own urine inside the bottle. Then you close it. Then that's your perfume.
And they actually tell you to do this?
I think they tell you to do that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the name of the company. I just heard this somewhere. It's like I don't know what that company is named. I don't know where they are based.
Well, that's why I call adding your own scent. I'll tell you that. Depending on what you drink and what you eat, it could come out, you know, in many different...
You don't want to eat any asparagus before you do that.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, to tell you the truth, it's a very good experience to experience these mosques and to know the background.
I mean, I'm happy I could share it with you and with obviously with our viewers here.
Yeah.
You know, it's been quite a ride for me. You know, like going, you know, sending Abdurrahman Thomas, you know, as they know him, to Russia and sourcing this stuff and then making the perfume. It's been very difficult, very difficult.
So, what would you, you know, as I know that most people who enjoy these kinds of smells, these kinds of scents, you know, in oils or perfumes, I know that especially the creators of such sweet smells. Nice smells, heavenly smells. I know it's sort of like, to you, it's not just a business, obviously, right?
I mean, the last thing that it is a business.
Yeah. So my question to you though is that how do people, the general public, how do they get to enjoy something like this? Not because of the marketing or anything like that, but because to be exposed to such, you know, to not have to settle for something less. Is there something that someone, you know, like myself could do, basically, you know, to have this musk with the sandalwood, for example, or, and just appreciate, actually, you know, the effort that was put into it, the creativeness that was put into it. You know, people just think they go to their place and they just buy a bottle of perfume and that's that.
Right.
And most of it comes from factories, right?
All of it.
So it's not like sending Thomas to Siberia, right? And having to source all of this, and that actually that does mean something, I think, overall.
I mean, to me, it's what gives meaning to my life.
Yeah.
You know, like I am very difficult to please, fortunately or unfortunately, when it comes to scent. So if I spray something that I cannot tolerate on the skin, I would have to either like wash my neck if I made that grave mistake of like spraying it on the body, or you know, sometimes I would spray it on the hand. I would have to totally scrub that off. So my aesthetic is very simple. It's like if I can personally tolerate it and actually enjoy it, then I will actually share it with people. And it has nothing to do with business. I mean, if I want to do business, I mean, I can sell organic oud all day and all night. I mean, do anything. It's not about business. This is just my passion.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
So you're sharing your passion with people who can appreciate that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, and it's gonna be controversial.
Yeah.
It's gonna be controversial. The musk thing. I mean, nobody likes to be wrong.
Yeah.
Telling someone that, well, actually, what you know as musk is not musk. You know, that would be a big. I mean, this is something that like even the biggest saints. I mean, this is one of their, like Abu Median, didn't he say that? Admit the truth when it is against you, and you will reach the highest of spiritual stations.
Yeah.
So if we tell a YouTuber, well, actually, you were wrong, and this is not musk, this is synthetic civet, for example.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to do? You think he's going to say, actually, yes, I was wrong. I smelt the real musk from Azar,
of course not.
and I take it back, and I apologize, everybody. I told you what I told you until now was a can of whatever, you know.
Yeah.
No, he's going to go into a tirade. He's going to find a way.
Like with anything, even when anyone buys any art, okay,
Right.
if they really want to know where they delve into the background and they know where it's coming from,
Yeah.
right? And this is not a sales pitch. I'm just saying in anything, not
Yeah.
just perfumes. Okay, if you really want to know, you should go to the source and see where it's coming from, what's been done, where it's coming from. I mean, I used to do that in the past with some other things like art. Right?
Right.
We just buy art like that.
Yeah.
You can buy lithographs. You can buy prints.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone has their own level of what, like you said, not putting those people down. Whatever people can afford, whatever is practical for them or easy for them,
Yeah.
right? But people who really want to enjoy a real good scent and they want to know what it's about, and they hear someone saying something, I would say look for yourself, right?
Well, that's why we made a kit.
Yeah.
Like what we've done now is exactly these 3 things that I let you try.
Okay.
I put them in a musk kit called Musk 1984 because the date of the sandalwood.
Okay.
And I give you the musk and sandalwood.
Mm.
I give you musk grains and ethanol, and I give you the musk sac and ethanol for the animalic component of musk.
Okay.
You see for yourself.
Oh,
Here it is.
really?
Yeah,
I mean, that's something you can buy.
I actually offer this for sale,
Oh.
just for the sake of vindicating my EO number 2.
I see.
Because
Okay.
when I first released it, there's these people that are saying, well, it doesn't smell like musk.
Yeah.
Because they had smelled another musk perfume, which was actually loaded with synthetic civet, which I tried myself.
Yeah.
And so now the thing is that, okay, this one is not as animalic as that. That's a very nice perfume, by the way. I'm not saying anything that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Just that the smell of musk in and of itself is not going to jump off your skin like a wild animal. It does smell urinary, but it's not going to have that sillage and that crazy projection that people are looking for. Synthetics can do that.
Yeah.
Synthetics
Well, but I'm
can-
sure that the thing is, in the end, it's not a matter of people using synthetics or not. But when you start talking about other people's product, I mean, it's a different story.
Of
I mean,
course.
so a person who is is reviewing these scents and perfumes, they should just do their homework and
Yeah.
find out, what it's about, and not say something that's all because they're supposed to be doing a service to the general public and to the
Exactly.
to the
I mean,
viewers.
I'm sure most of these
Yeah.
people are well intentioned.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of them are well intentioned.
Exactly.
So unless of course you charge them for the bottle.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially if it's $700. Oh yeah.
Believe it or not.
But a gift with 400, I think I would have paid 700 for that.
$790
So-
is actually. I'm actually selling this. I don't want to say I'd be lying if I said it at a loss, right? But it's like I'm not making what I think I should be making.
Okay.
Because we're talking 50 ml of perfume concentrate. Okay, to make a pure parfum concentration out of 50 ml, you need at least 25 to 30%. I don't do 25. I do 30% and up. 30% of the botanicals and all the other ingredients, and then whatever is tincture.
Okay.
Whatever is tincture, which normally in the industry would qualify as the compound,
Yeah.
I don't calculate. So if you take my ambergris that I put in EO number 1, for example, then I'm giving you 70%.
I see.
70% compound because it's ambergris at 10.75% is half of the carrier.
I see.
In EO number 2, which is the musk one, I put pure musk tincture. This one. Pure musk sac tincture as part of the carrier. I don't calculate that as being part of the aromatic compound.
I see.
Right. So you have 30%.
So you're not using some kind of throwaway carrier,
No.
for example. So that
No.
makes a big difference.
I'll give you 30% botanicals. All of the the ingredients, the flowers, the resins, the whatever, the oud, the musk, the sandal, right? And then the rest it's not macerated in just plain ethanol. Okay, a part of the carrier is this musk tincture. Okay, so that for me it's like $990 is like that's like giving it away.
Yeah.
I said people sell stuff for thousands of pounds in England that is not even doesn't even compare in terms of what's inside of it. So it's like I think it's very cheap.
Yeah.
I'd rather not. Actually, I can give you another way of looking at that. We were approached by one of our good partners, in the retail market, to wholesale this to them. They normally stock our product. They said we want to carry EO number 2.
Okay.
I said, I am making so little on it that either you take the whole thing, or I'll give you such a small margin that, you know, that he just couldn't take it. Another guy in India, a very reputable house, you know, India is like a booming, you know, like market now. They have niche perfumes, they have everything, you know, luxury goods and all that. And he was desperate to carry EO number 2, the musk perfume, right? I gave him, I said, I can give you 20%. He said, were you laughing at me? I mean, how am I supposed to make a profit? I said, I know, this is how it is. There's just that much effort, that much quality ingredients and aromatics that have gone in. I'd rather keep it.
Yeah.